Hey everybody, Tim here, back again for Droid Live. Thank you so much for tuning into the channel. Today, let's unbox the Galaxy S23 Ultra. So what we're seeing this year is Samsung not changing up the hardware too much, just sort of slightly upgrading those internals, sort of changing up the outside of the device, the hardware device. This device will have a much different in-hand feel versus the, say, Galaxy S22 Ultra or any past even Note devices, which had that much more rounded curve. Samsung kind of flattened out that side of the device, so personally, I'm looking forward to it. I was getting a little sick of those like super curved edges, but anyway, we've got the box right here. We're going to dive right in. As you can see, I've got the green color straight from Samsung. Thank you so much. You know, if it was me, I'd say that green or that black, it's sort of that matte color, looks really good. So here's the outside of the box again. We can see that it's a pretty thin box, which means no charger inside. Made in Korea, colors green, beautiful. Galaxy S23 Ultra on the side of the box. And that's it. I mean, it is extremely minimal. Samsung continues their push in making things super minimal, but just limiting also the package. Got my T-Mobile SIM there. Oh, okay. So it looks like the box is already kind of coming undone here. That's all right. A little different. In here, looks like that's a little cutout for where the camera would go. In here, we've got probably a SIM tool, USB-C data cable. And yep, more paper. We've got our SIM ejector tool right there, and that is it. Extremely minimal. They're really keeping it down here. We've got some little bit of paperwork here telling us what's inside the box. Device, USB cable, ejection pin, and quick start guide. I mean, what more do you need? I mean, well, maybe for $1,200 they might throw in the charger, but it's all right. Apparently we don't need it. I'm not gonna be that person. It's fine. Again, so typically we see these phones come wrapped in plastic. Again, Samsung's really cutting back. We got just some paper here, this backside here, which has a little bit of a sticky, so that kind of was stuck to the device. Not too bad. You know what? I'm fine with less plastic. Fine with me. Putting that phone down real quick, and that is it. So, I mean, these unboxings, they're getting shorter and shorter. I swear, there's just not much to show. But here's the device, Galaxy S23 Ultra in this green color. Yeah, it's pretty hot. I've got a Galaxy S22 Plus here, which is this graphite color. So we've got sort of grayish. You know, this green, it's not very vibrant, I would say. It's really nice. Like, I would definitely, like, if I had like a very nice car, I could see myself getting it wrapped in this green. This is not a bad green at all. Like yeah, that looks pretty good, I think. So on the backside here, we've got these floating cameras, sort of isolated camera design. I'm a personal fan. I think it looks really nice. We've got these quad rear cameras, got our flash, we've got our little infrared focus sensor thingy-majiggy. Here's some plastic. Oh, I can peel this. This will feel good. Oh, that feels good. Okay, a little ASMR action for myself. The question is, does it have plastic on the sides? Nope. So no plastic on the sides. Looks like this baby is just like raring to go right out of the box. Don't have to do anything. Oh, wait a tick. Oh my goodness, you know, that was good. So a little bit of plastic here. Oh yeah, that felt good too. Get that off. Is there some on this side? I swear. No. None on this side. Interesting. There is some on the bottom here, so let me real quick. Sorry, I have to do this. It's gonna drive me nuts. So there's that. Any on the top? Not seeing any on the top. All right, so quick hardware tour. Here's the backside. It's green. It's got cameras, lots of them. It's got Samsung logo there on the bottom. No mention of like S23 Ultra or anything. So I guess if you get it, I mean, the real indicator is its size. And this S Pen on the bottom here. We've got our external speaker, an S Pen. Go ahead and bring that out. The S Pen, besides the bottom, no, that doesn't even seem to match either. It's just sort of this gray. I think all the S Pens are black, no matter which color you get. So black S Pens, I assume for Samsung, that just makes it interchangeable, makes it very easy. We've got a noise canceling microphone, looks like two of them. We've got a USB-C port right here. We've got our SIM slot right there on the bottom side. No external storage. On the right side here, we've got our power button, volume rocker, so both on the same side, and whether you're a fan or not, no big deal. Another noise canceling mic up on the top. On the left side, bare bones and naked. So while this boots up, I'm going to rattle off some specs here. We've got a 6.8 inch dynamic AMOLED 2X Infinity O QHD Plus edge screen. So each year, I mean, like, Samsung displays have been good for the past few years now. I swear they're just adding numbers and letters to make it sound new. I'm sure they are making little things here and there, but most importantly, 120 hertz refresh rate, big, gorgeous Quad HD Plus display. I mean, you can tack on however many numbers, letters you want. I don't care. 500 pixels per inch. Like, these are good displays. Samsung doesn't joke around with the displays. So 1750 peak nit brightness, so plenty of outdoor visibility, no issues. Internally, we've got the new Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, so for all your needs. I think Samsung did some special clocking with Qualcomm to make sure that these things can like handle gaming, no issue. It's got some cooling stuff on the inside. Pretty much you should be able to game all day and night with this bad boy if you're playing some Marvel Snap or something like that. I'm currently absolutely addicted to that game. Rear cameras here. So here's where like the big kind of new and improved stuff is. So on the back side here, we have a new Samsung made HP2 200 megapixel camera. Oh my god. I don't want accessibility mode. Talk back. Don't you dare. Anyway, 200 megapixel rear facing camera. So with that, we should see improved night usability, so low light photography should be improved. I tested it a little bit already, and I can say like pictures are massive. So if you're snapping 200 megapixel shots, expect that to be like 60 megabytes and up. Like, these photos are absolutely massive with lots of detail. We also have a ultra wide 12 megapixel camera, 10 megapixel zoom camera, and I think a pair of those, like two, and then plus like another 10 megapixel camera. Either way, we got 4 total. Handles up to a 10x optical zoom plus a 100x space zoom. So I think all the way back from, what was that, the S20 or S21, which had that space zoom. I think that was still back when that was the Ultra and not the Note series. Either way, space zoom is still alive and well. Don't worry there. 8K video recording at 30 frames a second. I mean, these things absolutely, I mean, these are good cameras, okay? You're getting some good bang for your buck. Selfie camera's been updated, I believe, up to a 12 megapixel selfie camera. Here's that beautiful welcome screen. Let's see. We've got 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gig storage. That is the base model. If you opt for the 512 gigs of storage or 1 terabyte of storage, that is like ridiculous. You get 12 gigs of RAM. All right, so keep that in mind. Also, 5,000 milliamp hour battery, massive battery, 45 watts super fast charging, fast wireless charging, wireless power share, so you can charge your buds, whatever else you might got. It's got 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, IP68 water resistance, ultrasonic fingerprint reader, and that display is, the display is that new Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2. All right, so this baby should be able to survive some drops. Am I gonna test that? Heck no, no way. I try not to drop my stuff, but I'm sure there's other YouTubers out there that have no problem taking a diamond cutter to this bad boy. So that is the hardware, that is the specs. I'm gonna dive in here. We can go over a little bit of the software. It's Android 13 with One UI 5.1 on top. We pretty much know what to expect in terms of software, but I'm gonna go ahead, boot it up, and yeah, let's check it out. All right, folks, we are back. We are all booted up. I got through the setup process, which takes 5 years. I've already gone ahead and changed the wallpaper just because, you know, it wasn't very helpful with the video. So I just kind of brightened it up a little bit. As you can see, I started applying some icons just to see what Samsung had going on here. So real quick, let's go over that. So Android 13, One UI 5.1, Samsung has implemented a lot of what Google is doing in terms of the customization options. So if you long press on that home screen, you can dive right into wallpaper and style there on the left side. You can change your wallpaper, but then right down here you can go into color palette. This is not enabled out of the box, so I had to enable it, and then I can choose whichever colors I want. These are kind of based on whichever wallpaper. In fact, I would say Samsung goes for more of a contrasty appearance. So where I had like a blue and green wallpaper, this is opting for more purples and dark reds, which I actually think is kind of cool. So I'm all for that contrast. Obviously, Samsung, being who they love the back button on that right side. So first thing I always do, I dive into my settings, go down into the display. From here, you can also choose to apply that dark theme, which is always beautiful. Change up your brightness. You can toggle on or off adaptive brightness. But then if you keep scrolling down, you're going to find an option for navigation bar. From here, if you like having your buttons, this is where you can change to have that back on the left side. Me personally, I appreciate swipe gestures, so I'm just going to stick with that. I also don't need gesture hints. And then, yeah, from there, I'm all set. I would also say, real quick, and this can be my first 10 things video, I just disable edge panel. I don't know why. I find like it gets more in my way than anything, and personally, I just don't use it. Next up, the screen resolution out of the box is going to be Full HD+. If you're someone who wants that full resolution, maybe you got those eagle eyes, props to you. You can go ahead and select WQ HD+. No problem there. Display is like that first kind of menu that I dive into on any new device. From here, you can choose your motion smoothness. If you don't care about having up to 120 hertz, then that's fine. Toggle it down a little bit. Not going to be a problem. But yeah, you got plenty of good options in here. From here, you can find always on display settings, all that good stuff. Again, I'm going to save most of this for my first 10 things to do. So real quickly, let's take a look at the About Phone software information. Just to confirm here, we do have One UI version 5.1 on top of Android version 13. Maybe if I go, oh yeah, beautiful. Look at that. A little long press. Oh, look, check the time, baby. Dame time. We got some star. Oh, I like that one right there. Good. That's my thumbnail, maybe. Let's see if we can find it. No, monkey's pretty good. Flowers, monkeys again, hearts, moons. Oh, there we go. That's a good one. Boom, thumbnail. All right. So there's that. Real quick, let's go into the camera. So camera being obviously a big one. It's got that HP2 sensor there. So here is, out of the box, you're going to have to enable that. So if you go down, you can click on 200 megapixel, and then you're going to be locked and loaded for that 200 MP. And what I've noticed in my brief testing is whenever I am doing a 200 megapixel shot, it's going to take a second to process and do all of its kind of auto lighting and stuff. But once you get that shot, you can see, it captures plenty of detail. You can see how dusty and disgusting that S23 Plus is. My apologies, I'm embarrassed. But yeah, being able to capture that kind of detail and being able to edit photos in the long run, right? So if you can take that into Photoshop or Lightroom or wherever you might be doing that stuff. So lots of settings in that camera app. Obviously, I have to save something for videos down the road, so I can't show you everything. But lastly, I want to show the difference of the curve. Shout out to Michael Bay and Samsung. If you haven't seen that video, look up Michael Bay Samsung CES. Funniest thing you'll ever see this week. Michael, the curve. Anyway, that was good times. So we've got less of a curved edge here, and I'm telling you, the in-hand feel is a lot different from past Ultra and Note devices. This feels like really solid in hand. There's actually a lot of surface area for me to grab onto, so I'm already a huge fan of that. Obviously, we still got the S Pen in here, so all that new S Pen stuff, well, it's technically not new. Like, I'm pretty sure Samsung didn't really include anything new in the Samsung the S Pen software. I may be mistaken, my apologies if I am, but me personally, I don't use the S Pen all too much. Lastly, I want to go over size real quick. So we've got an S22 Plus and the S23 Ultra here. A little bit taller. I'd say just a little bit wider. I mean, overall, you've got I think this was a 4,500 milliamp hour battery, large display, and we've got just a pretty chonkin device right here. S23 Ultra. Go ahead and put it up next to the Pixel 7 Pro. Two very nice complementing colors, I think. More of that kind of grayish over here, but still two very good looking devices. Phones look good these days, right? Whether you're a Samsung fan, Google fan, I don't care. What I am a fan of is just good looking hardware. And frankly, I think both of these are good looking phones, my personal opinion. So there it is. Like I said, this software is chock full of good stuff. So obviously, I'm going to be going over the first 10 things video. If you can't wait for me to upload that, I bet you if you go look up our Droid Live S22 Ultra video, it'll be very similar to this one because, again, Android 13 really builds on top of what Android 12 introduced, so there's not a ton of new stuff, but obviously I'll highlight it in a new video for you guys. We can go over the S Pen, all that good stuff, so plenty more to come. This is just the first taste, so lots more to go. Until then, we are Droid Life. Peace.